stretch and stability today. It's about a 40 to 45-ish minute class. We're just going to listen to our bodies, do what we need to do. There is no need to push out of your comfort zone. When we get to a stretch, when we get to a point where we feel it, just hold it there. We don't need to fight to go deeper, fight to go harder. Save that for the HIIT classes. Save that for the classes that get our heart rate up. Right now is about taking care of ourselves, listening to what we need, opening things up so that we're ready to kick ass the rest of the week. Let's go ahead and start in child's pose. Feel free to put on whatever music you want. Bring those hands out, press those hips back over the heels. If you've got any knee issues, you can stay seated up a little bit. And just take this moment to scan the body. Reaching those arms towards the top of the mat, stretching those hips back, and just bringing our breath, bringing our focus into the mat. If you are an endurance athlete, if you are a type A personality, quieting that mind, focusing that mind, being present in the moment, it's probably not easy for you. But it's so important for our physical health, for our mental health, for our well-being, to be able to stay present in our body, in the moment. So bring your thoughts here. Feel those hips opening up. Feel those shoulders grow heavier towards the mat. Take some deep breaths to any points where you feel tight. And slowly work your way into all fours. Hands come right under those shoulders, knees right under those hips. We're just gonna slowly take it into cat and cow, moving with our breath. Maybe taking it some barrel rolls or some hip circles. Whatever feels good to you here. Evening the weight out between the fingers and the palms, pressing into the mat, and letting our body and our breath guide us through movement. I am not a yoga instructor. I have never taken a yoga certification class. So I'm not going to coach you on your breathing. And I'm going to keep our moves pretty simple, as I have been all winter. So if you need something deeper, if you need something more, you take it there. You listen to your body. Good. Let's bring it to center. We're going to take that right arm, left leg, reach them straight out. Pull that core in tight. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. And slowly through the core, crunch elbow to knee. And then reach out again, nice and long. Trying to keep both those hips even. Pulling that core in tight. Trying to lengthen the space between the top of the head and the foot. Holding it out for a split second, reaching a little farther, then using that core to crunch it in. Firing up those stabilizer muscles. All those little guys that support our big muscles through movement while we play outside or on the Peloton bike or on the treadmill. For 3. Really pull that core in. For 2. And 1. Leave that leg out. Bring that right hand down. Even the weight out between both hands. Bend that foot, that left foot to 90 degrees. And just squeeze the glutes to pulse the heel up to the sky. Just focus on getting some power and some heat into those glutes. Back of of the leg doing the work. Core is pulled in tight to make sure we don't arch the back. For 5, 4, 3, 2, straighten the leg, same thing. Squeeze the glutes to lift the heel towards the sky. Toes pointed down. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Give me a few hip circles, one direction and the other direction. And let's go ahead and switch sides. Make sure that right hand is lined up right under the right shoulder. Reach that left arm long. Reach that right leg long, excuse me. Pull the shoulder blades down away from the ears. Squeeze the glutes to lift a little higher. And then use that core to bring knee to elbow. Crunching through, then reaching long. Keeping the belly button tight. Keeping the core fired up. Looking down and slightly in front of us to keep the head lined up with the spine. Pulling those shoulder blades apart to make sure we're not collapsing in the upper body. We're staying strong through the backside. Maybe holding that reach just a little longer. Squeezing that core just a little tighter. Still scanning the body from the hands to the feet to see how we feel while we build some fire up in the body. For 3, 2, 1. Bring the left hand down, right leg out. Make sure you even that weight between both hands. Bend that right knee, square up those hips, and just pulse the heel to the sky. Little movement, squeezing the glutes to pulse the heel to the sky. Trying to keep that knee as close to 90 degrees as you can. Pulling the core in to make sure we don't collapse in that lower back. For 3, 2, 1. Straighten that leg, even those hips out. If you collapse into that left hip, and pulse. Squeezing the glutes to lift the right heel to the sky. For 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down, sit it on up, and just rotate those wrists side to side. Circle, switch directions, switch directions. Good. If you're ready, if your wrists feel relaxed and popped out, bring it out. High plank. Press those heels back. Pull that head forward. Squeeze those glutes. Pull the belly button into the back of the spine. And through the core, push it back to downward facing dog. You can hold it here, or you can pedal the legs out. You decide what your body needs. Thinking about pressing the heels to the mat, even if it doesn't look like it, I promise you, I'm trying. Chest towards the quads. Keep a soft bend in those knees for me. And relax any tension in your shoulders. Use that core to support the upper body. And with a deep breath, pull it forward, high plank. And push it back, downward facing dog. High plank. This time, right knee, right elbow, back. Left knee, left elbow, back. 3 more times, right, left, 2 more times, right, left, last time, right, left, push it back. Quiet the body, quiet the mind. And bring it forward, high plank. This time, right knee, left elbow, back. Left knee, right elbow, back. 3 more times at your own pace. Opposite knee, opposite elbow. Don't forget to breathe. 3 times, 4 times total, I guess. Then push it back. Downward facing dog. One more time, high plank. Glute lift, just like in all fours. Squeeze that glute to lift the right foot, down. Squeeze that glute to lift the left foot, down. Here we go, 3 more times each side. When you've got your 3 extra, push it back, downward facing dog. Now that our core is all fired up, come down to high plank. One last time. Squeeze those glutes together. And then bring those knees to the mat. We're going to come out so we're facing the center of the mat, the length of the mat. You're going to bring your left leg, left foot out. So the outside of the foot, the pinky toe side, is parallel to the top of the mat. Reach that right arm up and fold forward. Trying to make sure you're not stretching back or coming forward, folding straight down that leg. Maybe rotating that top wrist if it got tight with that planking in the downward dog. And come back to center. Bring that right hand down to the mat. Bring that left arm up and let it float overhead, stretching as long as you can between that left foot and the left hand. Lengthen that side body. Come back, using that core to sit up and go back over. Right arm reaches towards the left foot. Back to center. Right arm down, left arm overhead. You're going to move between these two with your breath at a pace that works for you. If one side feels tighter, hold it a little longer. You don't need to go my pace. Half the time in life, I don't know what I'm doing, so don't let me be your guide. You be the guide. I only admit that because Tom's out of town. He's not here to hear that. Good. Each time in each spot, reach a little farther. Go a little deeper. And when you're ready, let's meet with the right hand down, left hand straight up to the sky. Right hand flat on the mat. Bring that left hand now down to your hip. Staying here, you're going to squeeze that left glute just to lift and lower. Lift and lower. Squeeze the glute. Toes stay pointing forward. Core stays tight to make sure we're not collapsing into that right shoulder. Just firing the glutes up a little bit here for 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it up. Keep that knee where it is. Don't let it creep forward. Bring the heel to the butt and open back up. Heel to the butt and open back up. Good. Core stays tight. If you start to wobble, if you start to lose your balance, that's your cue. Pull my core in a little tighter. For 5, focusing on the back of the leg. For 4, 3, 2, 1, and release it down. Pull it back up. Bring that left knee under the right. Give me a couple hip circles. One direction. Good, and make them big. No one's there to watch you. No one's there to judge you. Switch directions. And bring that back to center. Bring that right leg out. Pinky toe side of the foot lined up with the back edge of the mat. We're going to reach that right arm up. Reach it over nice and long. Sorry, go left arm. I did that wrong. Left arm over, reach over the right leg. And back to center. Let that left arm fall down to the ground. Reach that right arm up so you add length first. Then reach it out and over towards the opposite wall as your foot. Lengthening through that side body. Keeping the shoulders lined up with the hips. Come back to center. And rotate. Making sure as we're moving through here, we're using our core. Center and drop. Moving through this at our own pace. Keeping those hips and shoulders lined up. Staying controlled through our movements. And if one side feels a little tighter, we hold it longer. We're not letting either arm fall down to the side. We're using our core to control the movement the whole time. Keeping both sides of that right foot flat on the mat. When we're ready, let's meet with that left arm down. Bring that right arm so it's straight. Make sure the shoulders and hips are lined up. Then bring that right arm to our right hip. And squeezing that right glute, let's just lift and lower. Lift and lower. Core is pulled in tight here. Firing those glutes up just a bit. 3, 2, hold it up. Leave the knee where it is, heel to butt. The knee is going to want to creep forward. You got to keep it lined up with the hip. Thinking about the back of the leg. Keep that knee up for 5. 4, can you get a little higher? 3, 2, and 1. Release. Hip circles. Another direction. Good. When we're ready, bring it down to the mat lengthwise again. Push it back one last time. Downward facing dog. We're going to sweep that left leg up, bend the knee, and twist open. You can give it some ankle circles. You give it some knee circles. Just reaching that left foot towards the right side. And bring it back to center. Step that left leg forward. Make sure that front leg's at a nice 90 degrees. Come on up. Hands on the hips to start. I want you to press the hips forward. Press the hips forward so you feel a stretch in the back leg. Always an option to drop that back knee. If you can keep the hips forward, if you can keep the core fired up, then bring the arms up. We're going to bring the arms and sweep them out long, down to our hips as we pull slightly down, and then reach the arms up as we stand a little up. Little past 90 on each time. Moving with your own breath. Core is in tight to help you stabilize. Thinking about pressing those back hips forward still. For 3, 2, hold it down. Bring the hands to your hips. Bring the hands in front of the left foot. Drop that back knee so it's back behind your hips. Let the top of the right foot, flatten on the mat and press up into the left knee. You're going to push the left knee slightly forward. Push your hips forward so you get a stretch in that back quad. Option to stay here. Or fold or bend that back leg, reach around, grab onto that back foot, quad stretch. If that's too intense or bothers your knee, just stay right here. Pulling yourself up, tall through the upper body, resisting the urge to collapse, squeezing those glutes together. And slowly bring those hands back down, frame that left foot, straighten that left leg, push it back over the right heel, hamstring stretch. If you are super flexible, right here is a great time to take it to splits or half splits. I'm not going to demonstrate that because I've never been super flexible. Again, you want to feel a stretch through the back leg. Once you get there, you just hold it. You don't have to push past it. Your upper body can be sloppy here. We're focusing on stretching that back leg. Good. And bend that front leg again. Walk the hands forward. Fire up that back leg. Push it back. High plank. Just 10 seconds here to fire everything up. Keep our bodies warm. There's a cold front coming through Oregon. And then it's heading to Utah. Heading past Michigan into the East Coast. So let's do what we can to warm those bodies up. Good. Push it back. Downward facing dog. Again, here you can pedal those feet out. You can hold it quiet. Just shake that head out, yes, no. And with your core, sweep that right leg up, heel to butt, and peel that right foot over to the left side. Taking some deep breaths. You can take some ankle rolls either direction. You can take some knee circles either direction. And come back to center. Using your core, sweep that right foot through. Come on up, bring the hands to the hips to start. Find your balance. Make sure your feet are lined up with your hips. We're not on a tightrope. They're still side by side. So if I step my left foot forward, it'd be next to my right foot, not behind my right foot. Press those hips forward, get a stretch through that back quad. Always an option to drop the back knee. If we feel steady, if we feel strong here, let's sweep those arms up, push those hips a little farther forward. We're going to take those arms out wide, bring them down while we drop that left knee a little lower, and sweep the arms up. We'll become just slightly out of 90 and back down. Good. Moving at your own pace, moving in the range of motion that works for you. Maybe you can get that left knee to kiss the mat, maybe not. Always making sure we can see those right toes and the right knee's tracking right over the center toes. For 3, can you lengthen those arms a little more? 2, last one. Bring those hands onto the hips. Pull your upper body up while you push those hips forward a little taller. Bring those hands to frame that front foot. Drop that back knee. Flatten the top of the left foot on the mat. Come on up. Press into that right knee. Pull yourself up, lengthening that upper body as you press forward. We're not just falling forward here. We're long in that upper body. Good. Option to stay here or bend that left knee, reach around, grab onto it, quad stretch. Still staying up nice and tall. Do what works for you. Do what feels good for you. Core is tight. A tight core is going to support that lower back. If you're holding on to that left foot, go ahead, release it to the mat. Let's bring our hands, frame that right foot, Straighten that right leg out. Press those hips back. I feel a stretch through that hamstring. Toes are pulling back towards the quads. Soft bend in the knee, no need to lock it out. Again, sit those hips as far back down as you want. Take it to the splits if that feels good. And slowly walk the hands forward. Fire up the back leg, but this time, bring it to meet the front. Forward fold. Shake the head out, yes, no. If your neck's feeling tight, you've been staring at a laptop or your phone a lot today, go ahead, take those hands, interlace them right behind your head, the lower part of your head, right above the top part of your neck, and just gently pull that head in. You should feel a gentle stretch down the spine. Again, if it hurts, you release it. We don't want to do anything that hurts. Release the hands if they're behind your head. Sway side to side and slowly come on up to standing. Step it on back if you're not towards the back of your mat, just so you've got the full mat to work. We're going to take it to a runner's airplane. It's not a yoga term, it's a running rehab term. So I'm sure you yoga people out there are going to be like, this is a whatever, whatever. My sister's judging me, I'm sure. We're going to take that left leg, knee high, 90 degrees. We're going to reach the arms out in front of us, reach the left leg back, airplane, and then bring it back on into high knee. Reach it out nice and long. Back into high knee. Always an option to step that foot down as you come through. Right knee is what I care about. Right knee, the standing leg, is tracking right over those second two toes. If reaching the arms out long pinches a nerve in the shoulders, hurts the neck, just doesn't work for you, keep the hands behind you, reach them out past the hips. But when you come up, I still want you to curl into a bicep curl, and I still want that leg up. Few more here. Core is tight. That's what's going to help us with balance. Last one. Let's meet with that left leg high. Cross that left ankle over the right knee. Sit it on down, figure four stretch. Option one, hands, let me turn this way actually for you all. Option one, hands are in prayer. We're just sitting the hips back. Option two, one arm on the foot, one arm on the knee, gently pressing down on that left knee. Option three, you sit nice and low and bring those hands to the mat. Pick the option that works for you. For bringing the hands to the mat, I want you to think about sitting the hips back, not just bending over the chest, bending that leg a little more. You may feel a little bit of fire coming up through that right ankle. That's good. Let's work all those stabilizer muscles. Good. Slowly bring it up. Bring that left knee still up, 90 degrees. Bring that left knee so it's lined up with that right knee. Reach back behind. Grab that left foot. Quad stretch. Pressing the hips forward. Knees stay lined up. You can bring your right hand onto your hips, or you can reach your right arm up overhead. Option to stay here, or slowly bring that chest forward and that left knee back. If we're forward folding, if the left knee's back, chest is forward, let's bring it back up to standing. And slowly release. Give that right ankle some circles one direction, then the other direction. Give that left ankle some circles one direction, and then the other direction. Good, same thing, other side. So left hip knees, toes line up. Bring that right knee to a 90 degrees. Even those hips out. It's often to kind of lean into one leg or the other. Use that core to keep those hips as even as possible. Reach those hands up overhead. Kick the right leg back. Pull the arms forward. And using that core, stand it back up. Bringing the elbows to the side of the body. Again, if the arms overhead doesn't work for you, bring the arms back behind and just do a little bicep curl up to center in front. Good. Watching that left knee, making sure it tracks out over the center two toes. Hip, knee, feet are lined up. Always an option to step that right leg to the ground as you come through center to gain your balance back before you come to high knee. But I want you to try that high knee so we can activate that core. Just a few more here. And let's meet in center. Cross that right ankle over that left knee. When you're ready, sit those hips back down, figure four stretch. Hands in prayer, one arm or one hand on the foot, one hand on the knee, or if you can sit it down, not all the way down, but sit the hips back to bring the hands on the ground. Pulling that chest long, staying tall through the upper body. If you're losing focus, find a spot in front of you on the floor, find your drishti and just stare right there. And slowly come on up. Bring that right knee up to 90 first. Then line those knees up. Squeeze the heel to squeeze the glutes to bring the heel to the center. I'm not sure I can demonstrate this one with my knee, but you know what you're doing. Quad stretch. Quad stretch. Good. Hold it here. Press the hips forward first. That matters more than anything else. Bring the hand up. If you can still keep those hips forward, option to stay here or come forward with the chest. Kick the leg back. Squaring those shoulders up to the center of the room. If your chest is forward and your leg is back, come back to center. And slowly release. Give you a few ankle circles with the left. One direction, then the other. And ankle circles with the right. And the other direction. Bring it to the end of your mat. Take a deep breath in. Reach up. Fold forward. Walk those hands out. High plank. And slowly lower to the mat so your belly is on the mat. We're going to rest the chin on our hands. Bend both legs. And just windshield wiper them side to side. Little quad massage. Releasing the lower back. And bring it to center. Straighten that right leg to the ground. Just let it hang out there. Squeeze that left heel into the glutes. First, always do that squeeze so we know we're firing up our muscles to protect our joints. Then reach back with that left arm. Grab onto the foot. Pull it in center. Make sure that knee hasn't flailed out to the side. It's still lined up with your hips. You can hold it center just here. Or making sure you're pressing both hips into the mat, you can press up into that right arm. Pulling yourself through, kind of like a baby cobra. But the focus is on pressing the hips down to feel a stretch through the quads. A few more deep breaths. And slowly release. Windshield wiper both legs side to side again for me. Let the left leg come down to the ground. Line that right knee up with the center of the right glute. Squeeze that right heel in. Reach around, grab onto the foot, and pull it in. You can hold it with the head down, pressing those hips to the mat, or you can use that left arm to press up. As long as you're staying focused on pressing the hips down, that is more important than pulling the chest up. We want to get the quads stretched out here. Taking some nice deep breaths. Releasing the hips, releasing the quads. And slowly release one last time. Windshield wiper those legs side to side. And however you feel comfortable, I want you to come to seated in the center of your mat. Full length of your mat. You're going to stretch your right leg out. Pull that left foot into the center of your right thigh. Sit up nice and tall. Make sure both sit bones, maybe move that mat around. Both sit bones are on the ground. We're going to square our hips up over the shoulders up, square our shoulders up over the right leg and fall forward. You can grab onto your quad. You can grab onto your calf. You can grab onto your foot, your ankle. Just don't yank on that knee. When we grab onto our knees to stretch, we tend to pull that joint into awkward positions. With each breath, maybe you can twist a little deeper. You can let that head get sloppy. Keeping this stretch, but opening our chest up. You're going to bring that right arm, and you're going to just rest that right hand right under your right ankle. You're going to sweep that left arm up and over your head, and you're going to look under that left armpit and try and open your chest up to the center of the room. You should feel a stretch down the left side body. Opening that chest to the center of the room, using that right elbow to press the right knee out maybe. Looking under that left armpit. Slowly unwind. Bring both feet together. Butterfly stretch right here before we transition. Pressing your elbows gently into your knees if you'd like. Pulling that chest through. Good. Let's bring that left leg out to the side. Right foot into the center. Make sure both sit bones are even on the mat. Square those shoulders up over the left leg and fall forward. You can play around with where that right leg is to keep the knee comfortable. And again, grabbing anywhere on that left leg except that knee. Making sure if we are reaching to the toes, we're gentle, we're not yanking on them. Good. Bring that left hand right under the left shin or the left ankle. Sweep that right arm up and over. Open the chest up so you're looking under that right armpit, stretching out through the right side body. Some of you might be super bendy. That right arm might be touching those left toes. I'm never getting there, so I don't know what that looks like or feels like, but go for it. But that's our goal. That's what we're trying to. I am trying to reach those toes right now. I am reaching towards those toes. There might be a huge effing gap between my hand and my foot, but I know what I'm going for. Good. See if you can open that chest up just a little more. And slowly unwind. Let's do one more butterfly stretch. Pulling the chest forward, sit bones stay heavy. And slowly twist around so you can walk your legs out the length of the mat. Sit up nice and tall and fall forward, forward fold. Let that head hang heavy. Just like on the one leg, making sure we're not yanking on the knees, torquing the feet into a weird position. Slowly sit it on up. Let that upper body fall down the full length of the mat. Hug those knees into the chest. Rock side to side, front to back. And imagine releasing any tension, any pressure in that lower back. Slowly release the feet to the mat, the arms to the side, and your head down. Close those eyes for a second. Release the tension in your face. Release the scrunch between your eyes. Release the glutes. You don't need to squeeze them in anymore. Release the belly. We're laying on our backs. No one cares if it looks like we have six-pack abs right now. And fill yourself up with gratitude. For this next week, whenever you watch this recording, for the next 7 days, when you start to focus on the negative things about your body, be it wrinkles, be it a place where you feel like you could lose some weight, be it your toenails that you've lost too many times from running, when your head goes there, I want you to flip it and focus on the things that you like about your body. Your beautiful hair, your strong biceps, your great calves, your smile. Where we put our energy, our life goes. So focus on the good in your body, and you will slowly start to appreciate all that your body has done. So many of you on here have run marathons, have given birth, have biked 100 miles, have climbed mountains. And I bet when you look in the mirror, you see the negative, not the things to be grateful for. Switch it. It takes work. It takes training. Just like running a marathon takes work, takes training. Just like biking a century takes work and takes training. We slip up, we miss a workout, we have a wrong thought. That's okay. Get back on track. Refocus, recommit. The people in your life look at you and they see a strong, beautiful, powerful athlete. How come you don't always look at you and see that? Think about one thing about yourself you love, just one. Breathe it in, hold it in, and then breathe out that love, that positivity, that energy into the world. And slowly open your eyes. You are all done. It's our last month of videos. to see if anyone during winter training actually watched the videos. If you watch this one and you shoot me an email and say, Haley, I watched the athletic stretch to the end, I've got 3 bonus workouts that'll come to you in April. You get to request the 3 that you want as well, but you got to email me and say, Haley, I watched the athletic stretch video to the end to get it. Just a test to see. I have a few of you I think I'll get an email from. A few of you I'm not so sure about, but I love you all. Anyway, great job working through the winter. Take care.